How's it going, guys? Eric Zapp here with the Open Road Obsession, and today, thanks to Toyota Town here in London, Ontario, Canada, we bring you this 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser 1958 edition. Let's jump right into it and take a peek. Come on. So over here in the front end, if you're used to the Land Cruiser, this is nothing new. Very familiar, but modernized. You have LED running lights, you got big thumping headlights, and you got some fog lights down here as well. You also have this magnificent looking grille here. This is the Toyota badge that you're gonna find back in the classic Toyotas. One of the coolest points about the front end of this Land Cruiser is definitely these headlights. They're just really nice, big, and bold, and these LEDs are also available on the first edition model. Now, you also have a bar style headlight available as well on the Land Cruiser trim. So keep a look for that. We'll post a picture of it here, and it's also a very nice car. But for the sake of this video, this is the 1958. Let's check out these wheels. So over here on these wheels, we got some very nice all-terrain Geolander tires on these 18-inch alloy rims. Now, note there's various alloy rims available on the Land Cruiser here, but these ones look amazing here, especially with this blacked out paint job of this 1958 model. Let's check out some of the tech here and look at the tailgate area. Nice little standard kind of Toyota key. That said here, put this key, obviously it's a keyless entry. You know, put the key in your pocket, push to start, stuff like that. But you can lock and unlock as well. But if you lock this, you have a self-folding mirror, which is a great function here on the 1958 trim. This back end is very nice, and it's very stylish actually. I would actually say that this is nicer looking than a Mercedes G-Wagon. Now obviously it's a very different class, but this just looks amazing. So back here, this big, bold front end is just huge. I'm about 5'8", and this thing is still taller than me. It's probably about 6 foot high. It's also cool how they have Toyota here and just embossed into this plastic here, and you also got Land Cruiser here in the same color as the paint. Now, you don't have a power hatch in this particular model. You can just kind of click it and it will open up, but you do have this here. You can click this button here, this will open up, and you can just kind of lift that up. So if you're just chilling at the park or the beach, you can have your dogs back here, they can have some fresh air, which is very cool. Let's open up this hatch and take a look at the space inside. And one more thing before we hop in the back, there's a big plastic cover here, and it's not for nothing. It's actually to cover that tow hitch so it doesn't get all rusty. So just know underneath this, there is a tow hitch, which is very cool because this has a 6,000 pound towing capacity, which is pretty sweet, especially when this thing weighs 5,200 pounds. All right, let's take a look in the hatch. So you're just gonna hit the button underneath the Y and give it a little tug. You know, I like giving things tugs. And there you go, you got plenty of space here. You got a Land Cruiser embossed little tough mat here, very high quality, and you can see there's plenty of space back here. You can probably fit 6 big, nice, chubby totes back here. You can fit a lot of stuff, or maybe you can sit about 6-7 pieces of luggage, which is very cool. This actually has 37.5 cubic feet of cargo space. You put these seats down, it's very much closer to 85 cubic feet of cargo space. You can see there's actually 2 cup holders on each side here, and the reason for that is in other countries of the world, there is actually a 3rd row seat available in here, which is very cool. And if you're camping, you're on the go with your family, and you're just out there and you need some power, you have a 2400 watt inverter here on the rear passenger side of your cargo capacity. Just lift that up, and there you go. That said, guys, let's take a look in the front end cockpit. Yeah! All right, guys, here we are inside the cockpit. So put on the brake, let's push to start. Let's fire this baby up. So here we are inside the Land Cruiser. Very nice place to be. It's actually very spacious. So let's just start with the tech first. You have an 8-inch screen here in the middle here. Obviously is going to prompt you for Drive Connect. That makes all the sense, you know. You have your 8-inch screen here, you have a 7-inch screen here in the middle. Now just note, if you go up to the Land Cruiser or the first edition trim, this will actually be a 12-inch screen, a 12.4-inch screen that you're gonna see in other models like the Grand Highlander, as well. So that said, let's start to the left here and work to the right with our tech here. So you got your window switches here, you have your various lighting options here, you have your tow haul mode option over here, your trailer brake. You also just have typical controls here to control your navigation screen and your speedometer there. You have your cruise control settings, and then over here you have your climate control settings here along the bottom. You have your heated wiper button over here. You just click that, it'll heat up your wipers. So if they're frosted, you don't have to worry about scraping the windshield. Just click that button there and you're good to go. You also have heated seats here. So if you want cooled seats here, you're actually gonna have to go for the Land Cruiser or the first edition model. So that's fine, but you do get heated seats here, which is very, very cool. You also have 3 USB-Cs here, 2 in the back for a total of 5 USB-Cs. You can switch through your drive modes over here. Just click this drive mode, and then you have this big toggle here that says mode select. You can just turn this thing to the left or to the right and switch between eco, normal, and sport mode. You also have ECT second and your crawl mode over here as well. You have your parking brake button over here, parking brake hold, and then you have some off-road modes over here just underneath the gear selector. So you have 4-wheel high, you have 4-wheel low, and this is also a 4-wheel drive full time, which is really, really cool. You're always in 4-wheel drive and it's built for off-roading. That is very significant because this thing has a 32-degree clearance as well as a 8.5-inch ground clearance, which is amazing, and it's right up there with all of its competitors in the sector of off-roading. Here on your 8-inch navigation screen, you obviously have your navigation, Drive Connect there. You can subscribe for, just about $10 a month. You have your audio here. You have obviously wireless CarPlay here. You have your different connection options for your Bluetooth, and then you have your vehicle settings. You can control your climate control, your trip information that you've had programmed to your trip meter here, and then just settings to control, personal info, Bluetooth, general Wi-Fi, and stuff of that nature. So that said, guys, let's take a hop into the back seat and see how the space is back there. All right, guys, where are we? Let me put on the glasses for this one because this is a very nice back seat. Oh, wow. Okay, you can see here, I'm just sitting here and I'm comfy. I'm reclined, got plenty of space. I got a drink, no problem. I got 2 holders. All good, very comfortable. I can just kind of recline here. Got a big amount of space in here. I can store my stuff, put some books, stuff like that. Good. We got 2 USB-Cs and we got a 12-volt connection here in the middle. We got it all. So this is great because in this Land Cruiser, you can actually have your family here in the back and enjoy it as well as be comfortable. It's not just gonna be some pretty car like you would find like a G-Wagon. No, this is actually very capable and reliable, and it's a good family comfortable SUV. Really nice. Now you got some cloth leather seats here. But guess what? There's no problem with cloth. You can get leather, but every time you get in here with that nice hot heat outside, not so nice. Whenever you get inside here with that hot heat outside, you're gonna get burned by the leather. But here you got nice cloth seats. That said though, you guys do want that leatherette interior, then you're gonna have to go for that Land Cruiser trim and the first edition trim. But anyway, guys, I'm very comfortable back here. I think this is really cool, especially since there's not a 3rd row back there in the North America models. You can kind of push this back farther and get an added space. But just as it's set up for a person in the front that's about 6 foot, you got plenty of space here. I'd say I got about 8 inches to 10 inches of leg room here, which is very significant. You also got your HS handle, and you don't have a moonroof, but if you want a moonroof, obviously step up to those higher trims and you're gonna be good to go. That said, guys, that's it for the rear end here in the back seat. Let's take a look at that engine. All right, the moment you have all been waiting for. I don't know if you're ready for this, especially if you're a previous Land Cruiser homie, you love the previous Land Cruiser that has that V8. This is going to be different. But different doesn't always have to be worse. It can be better, especially when we're moving in the right direction, because we're only going up from here. With Toyota, and as people, we're only going to get better, even if there's some flaws in the beginning. That said, let's check out this 2.4T engine. So, we pop open this hood here, little lever here in the middle, pull that to the left, and you don't have a, an automatic held hood here, but you do got your little bar here to hold and reveal this hybrid powertrain. So this is a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That's right, a 2.4 liter turbo hybrid engine. Despite sounding like it's a small engine, actually has quite a bit of power. So this thing will deliver 326 horsepower and 465 pound-foot of torque. And that 465 pound-foot of torque is actually coming out of this powertrain at 1700 RPM, which is just wild. Especially as an off-roader, you're gonna wanna have the most amount of torque at the lower speeds, those lower RPMs to kind of push over those humps, push over those boulders, and get you to the destination. This will deliver that. Even though this this is a newer car with that smaller engine, it is not going to be a problem. And if you don't believe me, then just wait a few months before you make your purchase, and then you're just gonna see, maybe this is going to be different to get used to, especially if you're used to a V8, but this has plenty of power to get you the same results as those V8s. This also is gonna get you better fuel economy. This has here 27 miles to the gallon in the city, 28 on the highway, and a 24 combined miles to the gallon. And this is the information coming from Toyota directly. Obviously you have EPA, you have different companies, but this is just what's posted by Toyota. So which is very, very good. It's got a nickel metal hydride battery, which is of the best material that you can comprise these hybrid batteries. And that's the same material that Toyota has used in their hybrid technology ever since their first hybrid Priuses way back in the early 2000s, which is wild. This is an 8-speed automatic transmission that's paired to this big iForce Max hybrid engine. It's also got full-time 4-wheel drive, and it has a 68-liter fuel capacity, which is quite big, especially for a car like this that has a very good fuel economy numbers, which is great. And despite this being just a 2.4T, it has a 6,000-pound towing capacity. I know I mentioned earlier, but we're just gonna throw that in there in case you missed that. All right, guys, that concludes this video of this 1958 edition Land Cruiser. That's right, you heard it. After all this time, the Land Cruiser is back, baby. That's right, the Land Cruiser's back. And thanks to Toyota Town here in London, Ontario for Canada for letting us see this car, because this thing is amazing. Sorry, SUV, because this thing is very cool, very neat, and I could definitely see myself having one of these. Could you? If you want to see any nifty cars, shoot them in the comments. We'll see if we can get our hands on them. And if you have a really cool car or a car that you would like to see reviewed, shoot it in the comments or shoot us in the DM. Get a hold of us on Instagram, and we will come and review it depending on your location. That said, guys, have a good week, and thanks for watching. Peace out. See ya.